Oh, you want to bring that over here? All right. All right. There you go. There you go. That's what happens when you play around with a tiger. Alright guys, I finally unlocked it. The Tiger Tank. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be unlocking it, and here are some gameplay highlights of my first round in the Tiger. Obviously I realized right away it's a slow tank. Moves slow, turret turns slow, elevation of the gun barrel is slow, but it's still such a beast. I love the Tiger. I've always loved that tank. You know, in World of Tanks it felt like it took a really long time to unlock a Tiger, even with a premium account. In War Thunder, it doesn't feel half as bad. I feel like it's kind of nice that you can actually get a beefy tank within a reasonable time frame on a War Thunder. Weighed in at 60 American tons. That's huge for a tank in World War II. 60 tons is extremely heavy. The Abrams that I served on was around 70 tons, give or take. So this World War II beast was running at 60 tons. I see this tank right here up against the one of my partners. And I fire, and I don't know if I agree with that bounce. And then here we've got some tanks peeking over the crest right here. Shot and a miss from them, and a shot and a kill through the front road wheel. That's a massive hit through the front road wheel. Blows turret off. Shot there into the crew compartment. I would feel like that would be a catastrophic kill, but I don't think it killed the unit. Fire again into the mantlet once again. If it goes through the mantlet and enters the crew compartment, I really think like that should probably be a kill, but this one enters the side skirt at an angle and is actually able to destroy the tank. I take a shot to the front and I get my transaxle damage. Now I just killed I forget what that is, a Crusader, I believe. Now with my transaxle broken, I was already a slow tank, and now I'm an even slower tank. A lot of people don't know this. I mean, a lot of people do. I'm sure most fans of War Thunder do know this. The Tiger comes with, obviously, the 88. The Tiger 2 came with an 88 as well, but an upgraded 88 that had a higher velocity round. I'm sorry, but a 88 round to a very, very lightly armored AA vehicle, that should be a catastrophic kill. That should be a one-shot kill. I'm fairly certain this says realistic battle. And I'm nailing this thing with machine gun fire and hitting it with 88 rounds, and it is... Man, that is the strongest AA vehicle I've ever seen. Just a rumbling, slow beast trying to maneuver this thing around with my transaxle damage, and I believe I lost my driver, so I'm just doubly screwed here when it comes to getting this tank anywhere on the battlefield. So I actually jumped forward quite a bit. I just basically cut off the part where I'm lumbering across the battlefield at a snail's pace. I get hit by this AA vehicle as I'm trying to capture B with this KV-1, and it damages my turret ring and my gunner gets knocked out. I'm able to just bring that gun up and put one through the lower hull of this M6, and it ends up finishing me. Hits me, let's take a look at it, straight through the side armor into the ammo. That makes good sense. I don't have a lot of knowledge of the M6A1. I end up spawning as an airplane, and then the round ends before I'm able to do anything with the aircraft. I'd like to make some comments, though, about my experience so far with the Tiger tank. And that was the first battle in the Tiger. It was a lot of fun. I will say that I've been disappointed a couple times in some of my battles that I've had since the recording of this video, where the Tiger did not perform, I guess, to what I would expect. The 88 was no slouch. It was not a weak cannon. It wasn't, you know, a devastating one-shot kill always, but it was definitely a very dangerous cannon on the battlefield, and not many tankers wanted to go up against an 88mm. Unfortunately, in realistic battles, it seems like a lot of times there are some really strange ricochets, some penetrations where I just simply don't agree. I know the T-3485 was a good combat vehicle, but bouncing a 88 round from 150 feet into its side turret, I don't see it happening. Looking at the T-3485, I'm going to actually read some of its stuff. The Russians came to a realization that they really didn't have an engine capable of carrying enough armor to protect itself against the German 88. And I understand it's a game and they're going to have to, you know, kind of finagle things a little bit so that, you know, someone in a Tiger is just not going around dominating the entire game and nobody else can have any fun. But at the same time, there needs to be a balance when it comes to, if I catch you on your side armor, you're not paying attention, and I hit you with the 88, that should be a one and done. Just like if you're in the T-34-85 and you catch me on my side armor, which is obviously any tank's weak spot, side and rear, on average is a tank's most weak area. You catch me in the side armor of my Tiger, that's it for me, and you put that to rest. You know, when we talk about realistic battles, that's one thing that I feel like War Thunder might need to work on, is if it says realistic, we need to make it realistic. Obviously, when you talk about tanks, armor thickness is always going to be super thick in the front and usually much thinner on the sides and in the rear. Now, that doesn't hold true to every single tank, and then there's angling and roundness and all this other stuff when it comes to armor. If you made a tank fully armored from the front, the sides, and the rear, the thing would weigh hundreds of tons. It would move at 1 mile per hour. It'd be completely combat ineffective. So that's the reason why there are weak points on tanks. And plus you have driver slits, commander viewports, stuff like that. Those are also weak points on the tank. I just feel like in realistic battles, I understand there's simulator battles, but those are hard to get into. They take a lot of time to get in the queue. Sometimes you get lucky and you pop right in, but if we're going to call it realistic, it should be realistic. And that's just the end of my rant. I'll see you in the next video, cav with loadheat.com.